All right, so here's the deal. So many young people are getting into e-commerce, growing big brands, but I'd argue that 80% or more of them have little to no idea how business law works. One of the most important things to at least have a familiar idea with the whole FTC and e-commerce is influencer marketing laws. And so we're gonna go through a few examples today of some cases, and also just how to make sure that if you're working with influencers, how to stay more compliant than you probably are right now. Chances are that if you do influencer marketing right now for your brand, you're a small brand, you're not Fashion Nova, so like obviously the FTC doesn't care about you too much, but still you could be uncompliant and you can get screwed just like that. So by no means is this legal advice. You should definitely like triple down on this research that I'm about to show you and figure it out for yourself, and maybe even contact a lawyer. I know a few if you want a referral, but here we go. I'm gonna jump right into my computer. Sit back, because if you're here, you are already ahead of that 80% of people. Like just by watching this video and just looking at the examples and some basic rules, you're gonna be ahead of most people. Is that enough to be compliant? I don't know, but you're gonna be ahead of most people, so stick around. Here we go. All right guys, so we're now on my computer, and this is one of the pages I've been following for a while. They don't have much of a following. That doesn't matter to me at all. These guys are pretty much full-time internet corporate attorneys and lawyers, and they know pretty much everything that goes on in this space, and they do a great job of sharing it. And so I've been following them for a long time, and a lot of the stuff that I'm going to show in this video comes from them or a few other sources, including the FTC website that everyone can see. But this is just one Instagram page that I'll link below. And they do some funny stuff, so they post some funny memes, and although this is not the topic of the video, fake reviews is also entirely illegal and should not be done at all. Here's a few cases just by searching in a few keywords, like Amazon sues influencers, Amazon sues influencers. Here's some statistics. Endless amounts of celebrities have gotten in trouble. And so I just want to go through a few cases that apply to, hopefully specifically e-commerce. This is kind of open-ended. Here we go. This Instagram page right here, this is their website. And here's some guidelines that they kind of create for influencers. These will all be linked below as well. I'm just gonna kind of read the headlines and elaborate a little bit. So FTC tip number 1, make material connections obvious. Honestly is the best policy when it comes to influencer marketing. When you are posting about a product in exchange for anything of value, it's very important to make it obvious. And so in retrospect, you send someone a product, they record it and say, hey, use my code Ashley10 for 10% off. They don't say much. They just say, oh, this thing rocks. I use it for X, Y, and Z, and it's done. The followers don't really care, except that one follower who's an attorney seeks legal action, you get screwed. That's actually how this works. That's usually how it works. Obviously, if you're a celebrity or a big influencer like Charli D'Amelio or whatever, like you're more likely to do it than like a small e-commerce brand, but still, be compliant. Like, why risk it? So, number 1, make it obvious that you are paying them. Make sure that they know this. You know, you might be watching this video saying, hey, Corey, I'm not an influencer. Why should I care? Like, it's their fault. It's also your fault. You can also get in trouble. So, warning them and advising them what to do in advance is never going to hurt. It's important for you to take responsibility for your business by making sure that you are compliant with FTC rules rather than just expecting the company. So this is kind of vice versa what I was just saying. I'm reading very fast, but that's just vice versa what I was just saying. Like literally, it's saying to influencers, don't rely on the company, and I'm saying don't rely on the influencer. It has to be very mutual. Number 3, always disclose, never assume. This kind of follows up with thing number 1, where it's just like, you should disclose when you have employment, personal, financial, or family relationship with the brand. I did not know about family. Damn. You should disclose when a brand gives you free products. You know, most of us sending products to influencers, it is free. It's completely free. We're not going to charge them, buy it usually. So that right there is something that we missed out on before. All the time, even if you're all. So this is great context. So for example, if some girl on TikTok runs like an Amazon finds page and has all kinds of products on there, promoting all kinds of products, even if the followers expect and know that it's a paid partnership, you still have to disclose. Makes sense? Number 4, you don't have to get into detail, but you can't hide your disclosure. So you can briefly mention it saying, like paid sponsorship, like I don't know the actual rules. Contact a lawyer, but please do these things. Don't hide it. Number 5, don't lie or fabricate claims about a product. This is also huge for influencers. So like if they receive your product and they actually do not like it, don't push it, don't force them. Just say whatever and walk away. If they don't like it and you're making them promote to their audience, it's gonna ruin your brand reputation if someone finds out. And number 2, you're just gonna get in shit down the road almost all the time, especially the more successful the campaign goes, you're just gonna get in trouble later on. So that's website number 1. If we go back to their Instagram page, they do show a lot of cool information that I just want to look at. It's so fun. So FTC fines a detox tea company $1 million for failing to disclose paid endorsements and ads posted to Instagram by Cardi B and other influencers. insane. They say here that according to a press release on the website, FTC reached a settlement with the dogs company Teamy that requires them to return $1 million to consumers. That would suck. We get 3 chargebacks in one day and we're like freaking halfway down the street with our bags on our back. $1 million, damn, goddamn. Warning letters were sent to Cardi B, Jordan Sparks, and other Teamy influencers undisclosed and paid. I guess they R-bombed those. It's not enough to hide the hashtag at the bottom of your caption. It's important to be transparent and clear with your paid promotions. So one small tip that I can give, which I feel comfortable giving, is it's usually best to have hashtag ad at the beginning of the captions for these influencer posts, specifically on TikTok. You're only given a certain amount of space. You want it to be right in the beginning. Same with Instagram, same with Etsy, same with Pinterest, anywhere. Have it very clear. That's just one cool post from them. They have another link here saying a general guide to e-commerce law, all linked below. If you're watching this video and you already feel like you're learning a thing or two and you feel a little bit ahead of the curve, drop a thumbs up. I'm putting time out of my day to film these videos. So thankful for you guys. I'm a little bit tired, so I don't sound so energetic, but really do appreciate you guys. Most common legal issues in e-commerce: establishing a proper entity, obviously, whole different video on that. Have a corporation if you're big. If you're small, have a sole prop. If you have a partnership, do a partnership. Proper business agreements, proper online terms of use and privacy policies. Now, Shopify does provide a privacy policy in terms of service kind of template that a lot of you probably use. That's fine at the start. If you're a one product store, you have 8 orders, no one cares. But if you're growing, you're doing 100K a month, 300K a month, etc., like we were, we hired a lawyer, got it all done properly, got it all fixed. Now we're now more compliant. You know, Google likes that. The list goes on. Get it done once you're bigger. List goes on. Influencers should not underestimate the power of their brand. Sadly, most influencers do not engage in any legal protection against the significant exposure of the liability from being an influencer. Most influencers do not know FTC requirements and do not consult with counsel when agreeing to brand deals. So even the richest influencers in the world have little knowledge, which makes sense. They're rich, they don't really care about the law, which is like literally like law and accounting is like your biceps in business. Of course, there's marketing and growth and scale. There's marketing and growth and sales and recruiting, but like accounting and law, like if you don't have these 2 biceps, like you're done. Like or we can call them legs if you want, you know? You're eventually you will be done no matter how big your company is. Actually, the bigger, the worse. So if they barely know, imagine what your 300,000 follower TikTok influencer knows. You know, a 17-year-old from Cali. She has no clue what she's doing. No clue. And so that's not alarming. You know, if you have a bunch of influencer posts coming out pretty soon, don't stress out. Chances are you won't get in trouble, in my opinion, but still, be compliant in the future or as soon as possible. You know, get these, at least a few of them just nailed out, like hashtag ad and disclosing how it's paid and how they got it for free, everything like that. Pretty crazy. And then there's a bunch of cases here also tagged with endorsements, influencers, and reviews. This is all in the link below. We can hop in. I think there's Teamy. So we'll look more into Teamy because I actually understood that case kind of. So kind of definitions of like really like who means who, like everything's very clear with business law. It makes so much sense to me, business law and accounting. And so brush up on those because a lot of marketing gods, a lot of Facebook gods have no clue. And although you can pay a lawyer, pay an accountant, you still want to know the basics so that when you are communicating with these experts, you're not lost in the sky. Like that's one thing I always realize, like you want to learn a little bit about everything. So I learned a lot about I learned a decent amount of stuff about crypto, NFTs, and just so much other stuff. SaaS, of course, e-commerce. And so that when I was talking with all these experts on Clubhouse, through Discord, through wherever I meet them at the gas station, I'm not lost in the sauce. I know what they're saying. I learned a little bit about programming, and so I know a little bit about Python with booleans and strings, integers, etc. And so all that stuff plays a huge role. Another gold nugget. So if you enjoyed that gold nugget, come on, maybe that. Whatever one you want, just do one. Quick recap. Have hashtag ad in the promotions. Do not encourage your influencers to hide information when they should not be. If it's free, if it's gifted, if you're paying them, have them disclose that somehow. To the extent, I don't know, talk to a lawyer, but you know, it should get done. And we've made that in our contracts now very clear. We have a contract made up from a lawyer, and in there it says a few post requirements, how they must disclose it. It's an ad through multiple ways. If it's on Instagram, it has to say paid partnership with our username, all that good stuff. You know, it's very simple to do. It's not that hard to do, right? Like, it's not that hard. It's kind of painful because it kind of demotes the whole meaning of like an ad. But then again, people see sponsored on their IG feed when they see an ad. They don't really care anymore. They're so used to it. So just disclose. Honest piece of advice. Hopefully that was helpful. I almost guarantee that just by watching this video, you are ahead of most e-commerce people. Someone could be running like a $3 million brand, and tomorrow they'll pay someone on TikTok to run an ad, they get caught, they lose so much money. That's pretty much all I got. We can keep going, but again, I recommend that you guys troll through these websites. I'll link them below. Not many e-commerce gurus talk about this, so subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.